Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm Olivia Holas for Boca Magazine, and we are in it for another coffee break with recurring guest Marius Ged, Managing Partner of Ged Lawyers. So great to see you. How are you, Marty?
Good morning, Olivia. Great to see you again.
Today is episode 4 of our 5-part series, and I have to be honest with you, I leave each week so much more informed. So thank you so much for being so open and sharing such valuable information with me and our viewers.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So today we are diving into mass torts. Marty, is mass tort another term for class action, or is there a difference?
Very good question. They're very similar and they're synonymous with each other. Mass torts are generally consumer products that are mass distributed, whether it's a drug, a chemical product, or some kind of consumer product that's put in the stream of commerce and causes an injury to a lot of people. A lot of times they are class actions, and that's a way they're handled, and a lot of times they're not handled in class actions. They could be handled in state court in single case types of matters.
All right, great. And what are the main categories of mass torts?
So the most popular ones that you hear about are drug cases. For example, you've recently heard about the talcum powder, which was Johnson & Johnson's product, which they recalled, which was causing ovarian cancer in women. Another popular one is Zantac, which was a drug that's recalled as well. And these are products that were put in the stream of commerce by major companies, pharmaceutical companies here for this example, and they later found out, or maybe they knew when they produced these products, that they caused harmful outcomes to people using them, and they may have even hid that information or evidence, so the FDA and other regulatory bodies did not have that information when making those decisions about allowing those products to be sold on the stream of commerce.
All right, well, I'm glad you mentioned Zantac and the Johnson & Johnson litigations, because we are going to dive more into those. For Zantac, which is a very popular antacid drug, it is currently under hot water with thousands of Zantac lawsuits likely filed over the next few years, alleging that Zantac, like you mentioned, causes cancer. Tell us a bit more about that specific situation.
Sure. So the cases, specifically Zantac, are science cases based on epidemiology, and the chemical that's in Zantac is what's called NDMA. And it's determined, or it has been determined through certain studies, that this product, when it's shipped and delivered, has variations in heat, and the product actually changes its chemical compound or chemical makeup, which then has high levels of NDMA, which are carcinogens and can cause cancers. And look, everyone knows what Zantac is. I think almost everyone in America has probably taken it once for heartburn or indigestion. We all have those issues. But it's the people who take it chronically, or a lot of times, that are developing certain types of stomach cancers, prostate cancers, and there are certain linkages between certain cancers and certain use of this drug. So it's very interesting how the scientists have come up with the evidence and the science to prove this. And now it's actually, this case is what's called an MDL, multi-district litigation, and similar to a class action, but it's actually being handled in our backyard in West Palm Beach. Judge Robin Rosenberg is the judge that's ahead of or in charge of this MDL. And her role is to get or aggregate all the claims throughout the country and bring them to one forum in a federal court. Now, you don't have to go to the MDL. You can opt to go to state court as well. But they're trying, the courts at least, and the lawyers for both the plaintiffs and the defendants are trying to wrangle this and get control of it, where one judge can be the ruler of the discovery, be the ruler of the case and how that case flows. So that litigation is currently in Florida, in South Florida, in West Palm Beach, at the federal court with Judge Robin Rosenberg.
I had no idea that it was right in our very own backyard. How do you think that the Zantac litigation will end up being resolved?
Wow, if I had a crystal ball, I would be able to tell you that. These cases are very difficult because there's what's called Daubert, and Daubert is a federal evidence standard that in order for someone to raise their right hand and testify in the court in front of the jury, the experts, who will be the scientists and the epidemiologists, the people who are doing these reports, have to pass this very rigorous standard called Daubert. So that hasn't occurred in this case yet. Conversely, that has occurred in the Johnson and Johnson case. So that case is much longer down the line. It's not unheard of for these cases to take 2, 3, 4, 5 years of litigation, which is unfortunate, but that's how these cases are, and they're extremely contested and generally heavily litigated as well.
That's great. Well, you just answered my next question on, how long do mass torts typically take to resolve? So you would say between 2 to 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, and notwithstanding other things like coronavirus, but yeah, in a normal world, I think now with the coronavirus, you're going to have a longer term because you don't have access to courts. Juries aren't going to be able to go sit and listen to a trial because of the pandemic. So I would say longer now, unfortunately.
Wow. Okay. Well, now on to the Johnson and Johnson case. The company has faced thousands of lawsuits from cancer patients, and they're claiming that the talcum powder in the baby powder has been cancerous and that it was contaminated with asbestos, and that the company knew of the risks. So, what has been the outcome of this massive lawsuit?
So this case is much further along the progression. It's actually, there have been trials, there have been, I'm sure you've heard in the news, state court cases, and Johnson & Johnson is headquartered in northern New Jersey, in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And there's been many trials there and throughout the country where women were awarded astronomical amounts of money because it caused ovarian cancer to them. And you're correct, Olivia, it's the asbestos that's in the talc that allegedly Johnson & Johnson knew about years ago in the 80s and kind of hid that fact, that caused women to develop ovarian types of cancers. And they can actually test the cells, the cancer cells, and they can identify the asbestos in the cells. So that's really unique as well.
And I know I've used, Johnson & Johnson baby powder on my own child when he was a baby. I mean, is that something that I should be concerned as, from a mother perspective?
I think everyone needs to do their due diligence, understand what these products are, and look a little more under the hood, so to speak, to determine if you should use it. Matter of fact, they pulled the product, so you can't even buy Johnson & Johnson's baby powder. So it's gone. You don't even have a choice to use it anymore.
Okay, great. So,
and to me, that's a big factor. If Johnson & Johnson's pulling a product off the shelves, or any product that gets pulled off the shelves, they have to be concerned. They're not just doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. They're also concerned as well.
Right, absolutely. To what extent has your law firm been involved in these two cases?
So our firm handles mass torts. If you go to our website, www.gedlawyers.com, you'll see the different types of cases we're handling. We are doing the talc cases. We are doing the Zantac cases. And another interesting mass tort, there's a bunch of interesting ones, but the Roundup cases is something we're doing as well. That is the cases where these people, whether they're homeowners or consumers, they would buy Roundup. You know what Roundup is? It kills the grass and it kills the weeds. People were using that, and that product was linked to certain types of cancers, and specifically non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. That product is still on the market, but they've recently, Bayer and Monsanto, who is the corporate entity who owns that company, has recently come up with a settlement to settle those cases for something along the tunes of $10 billion. So a major amount of money to settle all these claims throughout the country.
Right.
And if you go on our website, there's always hot topics, so to speak, and different class actions or MDLs that are out there, and you can learn about those from our website as well.
Very great. And if someone has been medically affected by any of these products, what should be their next course of action?
First of all, see your doctor and take care of your medical issues. And then you can search, and you can Google, or you can go to our website, because we have a ton of information about these products and other similar products that cause cancers and other pathogens and cause problems. You can inquire and talk to us, and we'll give you an understanding of how we may be able to help you in these cases.
Right. Well, I think what is key is to just really understand the type of products that we're using day in, day out. I mean, I think we just need to be super informed and do the research.
Mm-hmm. And just to kind of comment back on the J&J, the product is back on the shelf, but they took the talc out of it. So it was the original recipe, or the original formula has been altered and changed. So that's something I want to just clarify.
Right. I believe they're using corn. What is it? Cornstarch or some kind of, do you know what
I'm
the,
not exactly sure. I don't use the product, and I thank God didn't use it before.
but it's safe now to use and they've changed the formula. Time to end this week on a lighter note, as always. Marty, what is your favorite quote or life motto?
Oh, that's very interesting. One of my favorite quotes is "Same story, different address." I don't know who actually came up with that, but it's something I use a lot with my wife, and my father-in-law always used to say it to me. But it's funny, you know, kind of like the grass isn't greener on the other side. Same story, different address. We all have our similar issues and our similar circumstances and similar problems, whether it's our kids, our spouses, whatever. And you know, everyone else has the same stuff going on as well. So same story, different address.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Marty, again for joining us this week. It's always such a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much, and look forward to seeing you soon.
And thank you to our viewers for joining in. If you happen to miss the live chat, no worries. We have all of our chats with Ged Lawyers on our Facebook page at Boca Mag and also on our website, bocamag.com. So thank you again. Stay safe, stay well, enjoy your cup of coffee, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.